Foster. Jessica Griffith. David Haba.
Here.
Brian Hoylman. Vic Mays. David Meadows. David Mills.
Here.
Jacob Pack.
Here.
Stephen Perry.
Here.
Travis Willard.
Here.
Glenn Yeager. That's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have a quorum.
Thank you. The next item on our agenda is to take action on the minutes from March 15th. These were included to the committee members.
Minutes be approved as presented.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Who made the
Aye.
motion? Jacob.
The next item on the agenda is an item for citizens' concerns. Are any citizens, obviously we have some here today, are there any citizens that would like to speak to anything that's not on the agenda tonight? Okay, seeing none, we'll go ahead and move through. The next item on the agenda is the public hearing. I'll go ahead and open up this meeting for the public portion. And the first item would be to the committee members. Does anyone have any disclosures of conflict regarding any of the items on the agenda tonight? The next item would be for the staff presentation.
Good evening. This is Michelle L. McCaffey. This is a major subdivision classification variation request. Project number 1143, parcel 43.6, under Article 100.01, subsection 3, classification variation of the Putnam County subdivision regulations to be classified as an administrative subdivision. Legal authority may be found in Article 100, Section 100.02, exempt subdivision, Article 100.03, subsection 2(3), Article 100, Section 100.04, major subdivision, and Article 100, Section 100.01, subsection 3. A copy of the application and disclosure statement is included as Attachment A. The owner of the property is Michelle L. McCaffey. A copy of the deed book 491, page 209, is included as Attachment B. The property is in a non-zoned area of Putnam County and has previously been divided 4 or more times. A zoning map of the property is included as Attachment C. The property owner does have contiguous property. However, the plat meets all other criteria for approval as an administrative subdivision, and no variance is being requested. A copy of the plat map is included as Attachment D. There are no restrictive covenants for this property. There is existing well water and septic. A copy of the inspection report from West Virginia Department of Health and Human Resources, as well as the letter from the Health Department stating they have no objections to the subdivision of land, is included as Attachment E. The Department of Highways has no issue with the classification because they have stated previously that it has nothing to do with DOH. E911 has stated previously that it is too soon to provide addressing. On March 17, 2022, the request was legally advertised in the Hurricane Breeze. On March 10, 2022, all abutters within 250 feet were sent notification of this classification variation as required. On April 12, 2022, a site sign notice was posted on site.
Thank you. Is the applicant or developer here?
I'm the applicant, basically. I'm the husband, the ex-husband of Michelle.
Would you like to make any comments? And if so, please come up to the mic, state your name and address, please.
I really don't have much to say, but I will if you'd like me to.
It's totally up to you.
If you have any questions for me. Basically, all this was I purchased a trailer to be put on it that me and my ex-wife own that.
Do you care to state your name and your
David-
address, please?
David L. McAfee. I'm also on the deed for the 28.6 acres.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. I bought me and Michelle have been divorced, but we still jointly own the property and are the best of friends. I bought a trailer, but didn't want to encumber the whole 28.6 acres because I needed to get a loan. So what she did was deed me 5 acres in order to put the trailer that could be deeded for the loan for the trailer. I don't wish to put any other pieces of property on it or anything else. And it was just a financial thing to do, protect her and me, when I put that trailer on there and financed it. That's all
Thank
I
you.
really have to say.
Thank
Any
you.
questions that you might have, I'll be glad to answer.
Any questions? Thanks,
Thank
sir. Are there any more or other comments from the public? Not seeing any, I'll go ahead and close this portion to the public and then go ahead and open it up to the committee for discussion purposes. Are there any members that have an opinion one way or another on the request?
Well, it seems to me, there's nobody objecting to it. Seems reasonable. And that's what you would have to do if you were to get a loan.
Yeah, being in the lending world, I obviously understand, the reason to not over encumber a piece of property in excess of what you need to. So I appreciate that additional information there. And I also agree with Mr. Yeager that there were no other conflicts or anything expressed from any other citizens with this classification variation. So those would be my opinions. I agree that it does make sense.
The motion may be approved. Second.
There's been a motion made. I'll go ahead and ask all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed signify by saying nay. The public portion's closed, ma'am.
I just have a question. I'm in Ashwood, and I own a property that has the 40-foot easement. Would that be, if they should foreclose or something on this, and whoever then would own this property, would that easement go to them?
David, would you care to comment on that? I believe the answer is no. An easement's of record,
Easement follows
and it would
the
be
deed.
permanent, regardless of the
It
tract
follows the
ownership.
deed. It follows the deed. Yeah,
The easement's still there.
It follows the deed, that's how it works. She doesn't lose her right away.
Running into Snake.
I don't see.
She still doesn't lose it. It's illegal to landlock a piece of property.
Is she talking about one of those two 40-foot easements?
In essence of timing,
If you look at the deed, ma'am, the conveyance is made, states specifically, the conveyance is made subject to any and all covenants, restrictions, easements, and reservations, which may be a matter of record in the clerk's office. So if that easement is already on record, this conveyance is made subject to that. So this conveyance cannot affect your 40-foot right-of-way.
Well, I own the property the easement's on. I own the property that the easement is on.
Understood. But it won't affect your easement whatsoever.
I think she's asking if the people that own parcel A1 would default, could they still access that 40 feet? I understand you correctly.
Yeah, that easement's not going anywhere. Easement remains no matter what.
Irregardless to who owns
Right.
A1, they were going to have the right for that easement.
I wasn't trying to,
No. You just want to be clear on it.
just,
Yeah, that easement's there. There's nothing anybody can do to take it away.
Thank you. We were in the middle of asking if anyone had any no votes to the motion on the floor. Were there anyone that had a nay vote? So I believe that passes the clarification variation. The next agenda item is the Linville Enterprise Golf zoning amendment. Staff?
This is rezoning request 2022-01, Linville Enterprises Golf, tax map 172, parcel 4 at 4801 Winfield Road in Winfield. Linville Enterprises Golf submitted a zoning amendment application for a rezoning for property located on tax map 172, parcel 4, which is located off West Virginia Route 817 in Fraser's Bottom, West Virginia 25082. The request is to rezone 55.45 acres from IOP, Industrial Office Park District, to C2 High Density Commercial District, and 4.79 acres from an R2 Mixed Residential District to C2 High Density Commercial District. State Code authority may be found in West Virginia State Code Section 8A-7-8, amendment to the zoning ordinance by the governing body. West Virginia State Code Section 8A-7-9, amendments to the zoning ordinance by petition. Legal authority may be found in zoning ordinance for the zone unincorporated areas of Putnam County, West Virginia, Article 2000.02, initiation of amendment to the ordinance. Article 2000.03, filing procedures. Zone descriptions. Article 750, Section 750.01, purpose, Industrial Office Park District. It is the intent of the IOP Industrial Office Park District to provide for those activities associated with research and development uses, as well as for office and industrial uses, having minimal impact upon the surrounding environment in areas that are suitable for office and industrial development by reason of location and the availability of adequate utility and transportation systems. Article 650, Section 650.01, purpose, C2 High Density Commercial District. It is the intent of the C2 High Density Commercial District to provide for a wide range of commercial uses whose nature of business requires convenient automobile and truck access. Such uses must be accessible to the county as well as the entire region, and must be planned in a way to promote and protect commercial and working areas. Article 450, Section 450.01, purpose, R2 Mixed Residential District. It is the intent of the R2 Mixed Residential District to establish a variety of residential densities consisting of single-family dwelling, multifamily, duplex, two-family, and compatible uses. This district shall provide for the requirements consistent with community values and needs, standards consistent with those values and needs and appropriate for mixed and multifamily residential district, shall A, stabilize and protect the district's residential character while promoting a suitable environment for family life. B, provide for the access of light and air to windows while providing privacy by controlling the spacing and height of structures. C, require the provision of open space and the regulation of signs to enhance the quality of life. D, require the provision of off-street parking to promote a safe and effective traffic circulation system. To promote a variety of residential types and densities to accommodate a diversity of households. Facts that need to be determined. The proposed amendment would protect and promote the public health, safety, and convenience, morals, and general welfare. The governing body, with the advice of the Planning Commission, must find that the amendment is consistent with the adopted comprehensive plan. If the amendment is inconsistent, the governing body, with the advice of the Planning Commission, must find that there have been major changes of an economic, physical, or social nature within the area involved, which were not anticipated when the comprehensive plan was adopted, and those changes have substantially altered the basic characteristics of the area. History of the property. On May 18, 2009, Frank Linville submitted a Putnam County zoning amendment application for rezonings to rezone property from an IOP district to a C2 district. A copy of the plat map is included as attachment A, and the portion of the parcel for the rezoning request is highlighted in blue. A zoning map is also attached. On June 23, 2009, the Putnam County Planning Commission voted to recommend denial to the County Commission. On July 14, 2009, the case was brought before the County Commission. Commissioner Haynes motioned to delay deciding for further review. Commissioner Andes seconded the motion. On July 28, 2009, Commissioner Haynes motioned to reschedule hearing. Commissioner Andes seconded the motion. On August 11, 2009, the Putnam County Commission reopened the hearing. Commissioner Haynes made a motion to approve the rezoning, and Commissioner Andes seconded the motion. On August 25, 2009, the order approving the rezoning request was signed by the County Commission. Copies of the administrative documents are included as attachment B. A copy of the application and disclosure statement is included as attachment C. Linville Enterprises Golf is requesting to rezone 60.24 acres to a C2 high-density commercial district. Oops, I don't know how to work this. A copy of the plat map is attached as attachment D, and the portions of the parcel for the rezoning request is outlined in yellow. Linville Enterprises Golf submitted a deed recorded in Deed Book 449, page 306, in the Putnam County Clerk's office attesting to ownership. A copy of the deed is included as attachment E. A copy of the zoning map is included as attachment F. The proposed rezoning site is outlined with a blue line. The zoning districts and existing uses which are adjacent to the subject parcel include the following. To the north is the Canal River. An R1 single-family residential district surrounds the property. Article 450 R2 Mixed Residential District, which describes the purpose, permitted principal uses, permitted accessory uses, special permit uses, and development standards for the R2 district, is included as attachment G. Article 650 C2 Suburban Commercial District, which describes the purpose, permitted principal uses, permitted accessory uses, special permit uses, and development standards for the C2 district, is included as attachment H. Article 750 IOP Industrial Office Park District, which describes the purpose, permitted principal uses, permitted accessory uses, special permit uses, and development standards for the IOP district, is included as attachment I. The property is located on FEMA Firm Panel 137D. There is a floodplain noted on this property, located in FEMA's 100-year floodplain and in flood zone AE. The flood map is included as attachment J. On February 28, 2022, the petitioner paid the application fee for the rezoning request. A copy of the receipt number 983957 is attached as attachment K. On March 21, 2022, a concerned abutter called the OPI at 2:29 p.m. She was concerned about the rezoning to C2, especially down by the river next to the residential property. She wanted to reach out to the petitioners. OPI staff gave the concerned abutters phone number to the petitioner. On March the 10th, all abutting landowners within 250 feet were notified of the proposed rezoning. On March 17th and the 24th of 2022, a legal advertisement describing the rezoning was published in the Hurricane Breeze. A copy of the email, as well as the invoice and newspaper clipping, are attached as Attachment L. On April 12th, a sign describing the rezoning request was posted on site. A copy of the photograph is included as Attachment M. Your options. The Planning Commission may take a variety of action on the proposed request. Should the Planning Commission desire further information regarding the application or facts and hearsay presented during the public hearing, the matter may be postponed for action at a later date. Should the Planning Commission find that the application protects and promotes the public health, safety, convenience, moral, and general welfare, and meets the intent of the referenced planning documents, the request can be recommended for approval by the County Commission. Should the Planning Commission find that the application does not protect and promote the public health, safety, convenience, moral, and general welfare, or does not meet the intent of the referenced planning documents, the request can be recommended for disapproval by the County Commission. At the back of or at your seat is the rezoning worksheet for you to work through. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tina. At this point, I'll go ahead and open up this portion of the agenda to the public. Just one second, ma'am. Is the developer or applicant present? Go ahead and come on up. And please state your name and your address.
Hi, I'm Tammy Smith. I own the property right next to the golf course that's being requested for rezoning. I went yesterday to have the neighbors, none of which seemed to know anything about it, but they did all sign the petition. There are 27 people that are opposed to the rezoning of this. And honestly, except for Section 1, the 37 acres up by the new freeway, I don't have a problem with the rezoning of that. That makes perfect sense. It's the rest of it that really should be residential.
Okay, any questions?
Would you like a copy of?
We can take a copy, and if you could give a copy to the staff too, please. Yeah, we can hear. Okay. Is there anyone else that would like to make a public comment? Seeing none, I will go ahead and close the public portion of this agenda item and go ahead and open it up for discussion amongst planning members. Does anyone have an opinion?
I have questions, just so I'm clear in my own mind what transpired before, and then what they're wanting to get paged way back.
And Jim, while you're getting there, I'll jump in front of you because I do have probably a similar question in terms of what was previously approved as C2 that abuts US 35, correct? And that was approved in 2009? And then the property below that towards 817, and then on the other side of 817, bordering the river, is what is being applied for to be rezoned to C2, correct?
If you look at the map, if I could do this, this was rezoned in 2009. This blue part here that's IOP currently is what they're trying to rezone to C2, as well as this little tiny strip right here, which is like 4 point so many acres, it's R2. So they're wanting to rezone basically from, that bit and these corners here, these boundary lines here. is what they want to zone C2. This bit here, 172, parcel 4.2, this is not Linville's property, Mr. Linville's property, just this here.
But it is IOP right now.
It is IOP right now. Yeah, this, 172,
It is
parcel.
abutting the C2, yeah? It's,
Yes, yeah, what he's wanting to rezone is abutting a C2, yes.
Jim, does that answer your question? Or one of them at least?
Yeah, it did, and I have one more. What's on the property now? What's going on there now? What's it being used for now?
I don't think it's being used for anything. I think it was a golf course, and it's, yeah.
Has the developer said what he was looking?
I think he wants to sell the property, is what I've gathered from Mr. Linville. Yeah.
And with the developer not here, a question I was going to ask was, why did they only seek in 2009 part of that property being rezoned to C2 versus all of it, and then come back 13 years later? It just seems a bit odd to me.
I glanced through some of that old paperwork, and I did see references to, in some of the opposition, there was references to Travel Plaza or gas station with a plant at that time. So I don't know if that was their intent, but that was mentioned in some of the paper.
Okay,
I can shed a little bit of light on that.
please.
Is, back in the day, that Mr. Linville, the father, he had ideas as to what he would like to develop on that property. And so he only wanted to rezone a portion of it. He has since passed along, and Mr. Linville, the son, is who is here ahead of you today asking for rezoning to finish up making it C2. So there may have been a difference between what father and the son had built to.
Yes, sir. Are you here on behalf of the developer as a public citizen? Gentleman who just, yes.
No, I'm just here serving.
Okay, thank you.
I'm Jim Withrow. I think Vic would remember.
Does anyone else on the committee have any opinions one way or another on the amendment, zoning amendment?
I mean, it does,
They're all R.
Yeah, the bright yellow is RR.
Yeah, it's surrounded by residential property, yeah.
172.3, 172.3, all that's. And on the other side,
It's residential.
172, 6.5, all that, that's all residential.
Right.
511, Shin, Bridge,
Gotcha.
all the yellow is RR.
So question for staff, with where we stand currently with, the different discussions, the next step, would we go to the sheet or would we need a motion by the committee and then answer the questions on the sheet?
You want to, can you close the public hearing?
Yes.
Then you want to reflect over these and just see how the board feels. Talk about making your answers before you make decisions.
Okay, thank you. So if there are no other discussion points, we'll go ahead and turn to the fact sheet. The first fact that needs to be determined would be, will the proposed amendment protect and promote the public health, safety, convenience, morals, and general welfare? Does anyone have an opinion on that?
I would say that if they have a petition from everybody that surrounds it, they don't want it rezoned. It gives us an idea of the general area, how it's going to affect them. Maybe more so from a convenience standpoint. I don't know about health or safety or, I don't know exactly what their concerns were.
concerns would
I'm
have
in the
to
same
be.
boat. I mean, not sure I have enough information to be able to say one way or the other whether it would protect and promote the public health, safety, convenience, morals, general welfare of the area. However, I am concerned that it's surrounded by nothing but residential property. And with the actual construction now of 35 through that area, you know, the nature of the old Winfield Road has changed a lot. Where, you know, I wouldn't, you know, back in the day, I would see that there'd be a greater need or want to maybe have some commercial property along Winfield Road, maybe not now. Because it's all kind of shifted up toward Route 35. So I don't feel comfortable saying that it will promote.
So we have two members that have voted in opposition to the application. Does anyone have a pro motion or thoughts for the application? Hearing none, that. Mhm.
And without hearing more maybe from the applicant, or as to how he or she feels it would promote those interests. I don't see any basis to say that it would, you know what I'm saying?
The
Yes.
board has the right to table the request, pending whatever information you want, and if that includes the applicant to be present for questions.
So he had that opportunity.
Yeah, I believe that seems to be the way at least some of us are thinking. I would go ahead and make a recommendation that this zoning amendment be tabled to allow the applicant to be present and provide his and/or her knowledge and background on why the planning commission should approve this. Yes. Excuse me, if someone would,
Seconded. Give it to Vicky.
all those in favor? Any opposed? Hearing none, it is tabled. Thank you.
Can I ask his knowledge and background on what? What specifically would the board like for him to address for next time?
I'm sorry, you want to, I think our biggest concern is obviously the public health, convenience, just the welfare of the area. And I think he needs to be able to articulate how it's not going to infringe upon that.
Okay.
How it's going to seamlessly integrate to the community and not be a nuisance.
Okay, sure. I'll
I mean,
reach out.
it's a matter of record what we have to determine, and that is, you know, will the amendment do these things, protect, promote public health, safety, convenience, morals, and general welfare? And the other one is the amendment consistent in achieving the objectives of the comprehensive plan? So the applicant, I would think, would come in and present his or her evidence as to how they feel that it would do these things. Without that, I don't have any, he's got to argue his case,
Right.
not just submit an application. Expect us to figure out what to do.
Yeah, I'm surprised that he's actually not here tonight, so.
Agreed.
Can I ask, would it be for the next meeting, for next month?
That would be a question to staff. Would we have time from an advertisement standpoint?
Well, it's been tabled.
Mhm.
Right.
The public hearing hasn't taken place, but if you're going to introduce new evidence, then you have to re-advertise. So when you open the public hearing back up, then you have to hold another public hearing, you have to re-advertise. Potentially, we may have time, I'm not sure.
Yeah, we won't have
He
time.
opened the public, hold on, Melissa, he opened the public hearing. He didn't close the public hearing, he tabled it. No, he did
they
close it.
closed- Yeah, the
Never
public
mind.
hearing was
I
closed.
apologize.
So, we'll have to fit in, obviously, Mr. Linville's schedule, and then we can get in to see when the soonest is available for advertising and the schedule, and if it falls on a regular meeting, fine. If it falls earlier than that, staff can reach out to the president and see if there's interest in holding a special meeting for re-advertising and re-advertising.
I mean, it's this, to get around all that, so we don't have, if we can reopen the public hearing tonight, and instead of closing it, merely recess it until the table night.
Just,
That's where I'm coming from.
Since he closed it, isn't it closed though?
Is that information that we don't really have, we didn't have knowledge of before the meeting?
Yeah, I can tell you, I know for a fact what the judge's opinion on having new evidence without a new publication is.
Belts and-
Clear on that.
Belts and suspenders.
Can you also, the next time, make sure you include the information that you're providing just next pack?
Can't hear you.
David, can you make sure you include the petition in the next packet as well, that you were just given a few minutes ago?
Absolutely.
Does it, in that petition, does it have any type of explanation letter of why the petitioners felt the way that they did to sign that petition that you can see?
Just so far as just all 3 pages are just names, addresses, signatures, and that they're opposing this particular rezoning request. There is no why they are
Just to be an
opposing.
advocate, as much as I would like to hear from the developer and why he feels like it would be beneficial, I would like to have a little bit more information from some of those folks. I'm directing that towards our public. That would be good information for us next time as well.
And that can be in the form of material provided and/or public comments as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. I believe that closes that agenda item. Moving on, the monthly report from staff, please.
You have some spreadsheets there that show the status of the permits since the first of the year. I would like to, it's all pretty self-explanatory. I would like to focus on the sheet that compares permits that have been approved since 2002 for the last 20 years, just to give you an idea of what's going on in the in the office. Over the last 20 years, January has typically, we've typically approved 18 development and zoning permits. This past January, in 2022, we did 43, which is a 139% increase, so that was quite a month. February, over the last 20 years, we've averaged 22 development and zoning permits. This past February, we did 31. 41% increase. So far in March, we're on track to at least meet, if not exceed, the average over the last 20 years for development and zoning permits.
Are there any specific reasons why you can attribute the increase? It's all positive.
That's a good question. I'm not sure. Maybe coming off of COVID, you know. Yeah. January was crazy. But yeah, it's all good stuff.
Hopefully we can keep the momentum.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, this report doesn't even reflect the daily, the maps, the mergers, the administrative subdivisions, things such as that. I mean, we'll have 10 or 12 of those a week as well. So that keeps us really busy.
Seem to be on top of it.
Pardon?
You all seem to be on top of it really well and doing a lot better than we had been doing about this time last year.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. It's great staff. It's great staff here.
You are blessed.
Well, thank you all. Next item is the permit status.
Yeah, okay, that's part of the sheets here. You see all the permits from January, February, and March. You see when they were submitted, when they were mailed and emailed, and if there are any that are still on hold, you'll see the reason why in the comments for whatever information that we're waiting on from the applicant.
Is there any still outstanding before January 4th? Is everything prior to January 4th?
So the beginning of the report, the first date on that report is January 4th?
Yes.
2021. Jacob's question was, are there any that are not included on that report that might have been prior to January 1?
Let's see.
Okay.
Starting January 4th, 2021. So you're talking about anything that's outstanding prior to?
Correct.
Okay. We would have to check on that. Not to our knowledge.
2020.
Okay.
Kind of following up on where we stood this time last year and we've been caught up.
That's all.
That's where I was headed.
That's what I brought.
Staff report?
Well,
Yeah. Yeah, well, I know in March, there were a lot of positive comments, and obviously there's been significant transition over the past 6 months. So I think we want to go ahead and echo the positive comments again this month, keep up the good work, and keep up the momentum as well. It's definitely refreshing. Any unfinished business? Any new business? I'll go ahead and take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We are adjourned. Thank you, guys.